Hey guys, Elizabeth here from Legendary Potter Studios. Today I'm going to be doing another book review, sort of. So I actually just finished a book, and I just finished listening to 2 audiobooks within the past couple of days, and I'm going to review them for you here. I'm not very good at this, but the first book I finished was on Saturday. I finished The Swiss Family Robertson by Johann David Wyss. I think I said that correctly. So I listened to the audiobook for this. I found it on here. Here you go. I found it on audiobooks.com. This is just an app I have. I got it a while back, like a few years ago or something, and I've had some books that I got on here, and I had Swiss Family Robinson on here, so I decided to listen to it because I had it on here and I wanted to listen to it. It's actually just a free book that's on here. It was for free. The one thing I will say, if you do find this audiobook on the same app as this by the same narrator, it's kind of annoying because not every chapter, but almost at the end of every chapter, it'll stop the book and it'll say, "This is Box recording. Oliver Web recording are free, blah blah. This is Swiss Family Robinson by Johann David Wyss," and then it'll say the narrator's name and where the narrator lives and stuff like that. It's just kind of annoying. Like, it's like a couple seconds or whatever, but it's just like, I'm in the middle of listening to this book. I don't want to hear this part, but I did. It's fine. And then I also finished, actually today, I finished listening to Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morrigan Crow, which is the second book in the Morrigan Crow series. Nevermore series, sorry. They're both really good. Alright, first, Swiss Family Robinson. I don't have physical books, so I can't show you physical copies, but this book, wow. Okay, first I want to say that I went into this book thinking about the movie, the Disney movie, that I have seen a million times. So basically, here's the situation. I've watched the Disney movie ever since I can remember. I've always loved that movie. I thought it was amazing. I've always loved that movie. It's like a favorite movie of mine or something. I don't know. It's just a really, really good movie, in my opinion. I always thought it was really good, especially because it's really good, but it's also nostalgic because I've watched it as a kid and loved it and stuff like that. Then I listened to this book, and I was like, whoa. Like, even the first, hour of listening to this book, I was just like, this is so off from the movie, so off. And then I thought maybe later it'll, be more similar in different areas, and boy was I wrong. Basically, I don't know where they got the storyline. Everything that happened in the movie, I don't know where they got all of that from, because literally the only things, if you've seen the movie, the only things that are similar to the book are some of the names of some of the main characters, the kids and the parents, I guess, and the fact that they get shipwrecked on an island, and they make a tree house. Those are basically the only things that are the same. Everything else is way off. First off, let's talk characters. There's 3 children in the movie: Francis, Ernest, and Fritz. In the book, there's another child named Jack. Why did they leave him out? No idea. I don't know why they did anything they did in the movies, but there's a whole nother kid. I was like, wait, what? There's that. Second off, the mother. Oh my gosh. Let's just say that even though I've watched, before when I watched the movies and I really liked the movie, I never cared too much for the mother because she was such a big, I want to say she was a baby, but, she was just such, a baby. I don't know how else to describe it, except that, she was just really annoying, and she couldn't, I don't know, she was just really annoying in the movies. If you've seen the movies, you know what I'm talking about. In the book, she was like not like that at all. I was like, wait, what? Okay then. Like in the movie, there's a part when they make the treehouse, and she's like freaking out about like it's too unsafe, and she's scared and terrified, and like, no, we're not sleeping up here, blah blah. In the book, she's the one who suggests let's make this treehouse. She's the one who came up with the idea of making the treehouse. I'm like, excuse you? What? I don't get why they changed her so differently, but I'm just like, okay. Also, Frances in the movie is like super into animals, and like I feel like in the books it's not like that. Like he likes animals, I guess, but like it's not like it is in the movie. Like I feel like they all have different interactions with different animals, and they all like deal with different animals and stuff like that. There's all kinds of animals throughout the whole book, and it's really cool and interesting. But in the movie, it's like Frances is the one that's into animals and stuff like that, which is kind of inaccurate. If I had to choose a character that's the most into animals in the book, I would probably say Jack, who again doesn't exist in the movie. But I don't think there's one specific person that's like more into animals than anyone else. I think they're all kind of into the animals of the island and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of animals on the island. They have like the animals from the ship, like the cow, and a bunch of like, they have pigs, chickens, and there's a whole bunch of animals on the island. They have like a flamingo pet, right? And then they found like I think they found a buffalo. They have like donkey. And there's just so many different animals. There's no elephants though in the book. In the movie there's an elephant. There's no elephants. And there's no tiger either. They mention something about like if they see a tiger, but there never actually is a tiger. Like they mention tigers, but they never actually see a tiger, which is interesting. Also, there's no pirates. There's natives, or what do they call them? I forget what they call them now. But there's savages. They call them savages. And first off, in the movie there's pirates, and the pirates come in really like at the beginning when they're on the ship or whatever. There's pirates or something, which is so totally not accurate. But in the book, there's no pirates, just the savages, which are the natives of the island. Well, they don't even live on the island that they shipwrecked on. They live on a different island near there. But the savages don't even come in the book till like closer to the end of the book, and they're not like these horrible, evil people. They just they actually become friends with the savages basically, and there's like a missionary there that is trying to convert the savages to Christianity and stuff. So like it's so totally different from the movie. It's so way off, and I do still love the movie because I've always watched that movie, and I think I'll just always love it. But I think I have to think of the movie as a totally separate thing from the book. So when I think of the movie, I'm like, that's not the Swiss Family Robinson book. That's just a totally different movie with kind of a similar baseline story that they get stuck on an island. That's the only thing that's similar, literally. Because in the movies, they have like the treehouse, and they live in the treehouse. But in the books, they have like the treehouse for a bit. They live in there for a bit. But then they end up creating more and somewhere else to live, and they end up creating all these different cool things. And they end up trying to make a mill, and they make like different like garden things, and they just build all these really cool things. And then all this stuff happens, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend you check this one out if you haven't read it yet, because it is definitely way better than the movie. Now that I've read this and can see how different they are, I don't hate the movie by any means, because I think I'll just always like that movie. But it is basically not this book. It's basically just its own story, something else. You have to think of it separate from the book, essentially. Sorry if that was super long. We're gonna just move on to the next one. I could probably keep talking for a long time about this because I can compare the movie and the book, but we're not gonna do that here. So let's talk about the Nevermore book. Next we have Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. This is actually a middle grade like fantasy series. I heard about this randomly on the internet and I was like, I'm gonna give this a try. I listened to the first book at the beginning of this year. I guess it's still the beginning of this year, but I listened to the first book in January. I think I might have started in December, but I really enjoyed it. Now I have listened to the second one because I had an Audible credit, so I was like, why don't I listen to the next Nevermore book, because the first one was really good. I enjoyed the heck out of this. It was good. Definitely a good, solid second book. I want to read the third one now, which I think there's only 3 books. But I'm really enjoying this. I think it's a fun middle grade series. It's not like the best thing ever, but it is really good. I'm really enjoying this, and I love the characters and I love the storyline, and I don't know, I think it's really interesting and fun, and there's some like things that happen that you're like, whoa, but most of the time like things would happen that are kind of like, what, but I kind of like seconds before I predicted that it would happen, just because I'm like, I bet this is gonna happen, and then it happens, and then you're like, wow, that's crazy. But it's a really good book, a good series so far. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just a fun read. It's not like the best thing ever. It's just a fun, light fantasy middle grade series. I definitely am enjoying this so far. There's just some stuff that happens throughout this book that you're like not expecting it to go in that direction, and then it does, and you're like, whoa, okay. And then yeah, there's just some things that I was like, at the beginning of the book I never would have expected these things to happen, but by the time they did happen I was like expecting it to happen. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I don't know how many times I could say that. But I really enjoyed the main character, Morgan Crow. She's really interesting. I would say this is like not, like, I would say this is like a like not quite a 4-star book, but almost a 4-star book, like 3.5 or 3.75 or something like that, just because it's like not the most amazing thing in the world or something, but it's also a really fun read, and it's really good, really well written, and the story is really good, but it's not like so amazing that like, I don't know, it's not like up with the highest or something, but it is a fun read. It's really fun to read. I'm enjoying it. I really want to read the next one. I actually just started listening to Thunderhead, which is the second book in the Arc of the Sky series. So, yeah, that's Hollowpox. It was fun. She went on this, like, well, basically, she is learning more about her powers and stuff like that, which is really interesting, and she gets to take lessons on her powers and things, which she didn't do before. And I don't know, it was just really fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm sorry this one isn't as long as the other one. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about this one because I'm really bad at saying things about things, and the only reason I had a lot to say about the other one was because I could compare it to the movie and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. But I forgot to mention the rating for the other book. I would give Swiss Family Robinson a 4 stars because it was really good. I really enjoyed it. That is it for this book review. I hope any of this made any sense. If you're interested in checking out either of these books, I thought they were both worth reading. Obviously, if you've never heard of Nevermore, you have to start with the first one, but they're both really good. I enjoyed them. Thanks for watching. If you want to support me, you can like the video and subscribe down below. If you're into history, historical, fashion, and sewing, you can check out my other channel, also linked below. And I will see you in the next one. I hope you have your own fun reading adventures.